Now, over the past week, people have been protesting against the American shoemaker New Balance just because one of its executives expressed support for Donald Trump's views on international trade. Hundreds of people posted pictures of themselves online, burning their New Balance trainers or throwing them in the bin. Arabella Munro has this report.
This US athletic wear brand has become embroiled in wider tension around the US presidential election result after it seemed to endorse President-elect Trump. It's been forced to issue a statement saying those comments were taken out of context after alt-right website The Daily Stormer called the brand the official shoe of white people. The company says New Balance does not tolerate bigotry or hate in any form. One of our officials was recently asked to comment on a trade policy that was taken out of context. As a 110-year-old company with 5 factories in the US and thousands of employees worldwide, from all races, genders, cultures, and sexual orientations, New Balance is a values-driven organization. We have been and always will be committed to manufacturing in the United States. The Boston-based company's vice president of public affairs told the Wall Street Journal the Obama administration turned a deaf ear to it and that he hoped things would now move in the right direction. That was seen as an endorsement of Trump himself and led to calls for a boycott, with some people even burning their trainers in protest, and others threatening to boycott the company in tweets like this. Some critics say the company's attempt to clarify LeBreton's statement isn't enough. But it has swayed some Trump supporters over to the business. And others say they're committed to the brand because it creates jobs in America. New Balance makes more than 4 million pairs of trainers in the US every year. It's the last major athletic brand to keep its factories in the country. And it's worried the Obama administration-backed Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal would make it even more expensive for the privately owned company to keep its manufacturing in the US. The company's position against the TPP deal goes back further than this election. And with Donald Trump in the White House, there's no guarantee that will go ahead.
If either the United States or Japan does not ratify the TPP, it won't enter into force.
This controversy has highlighted the firm's commitment to American manufacturing, unlike its main competitors Nike and Adidas. And in the current political climate, that could benefit the company in the long run. Arabella Munro, TRT World.
Well, our editor-at-large, Craig Copetas, is following the story for us. Craig, how widespread is this burning of New Balance trainers? Is it a big deal?
Well, you know, Matthew, social media loves an echo chamber, and this is certainly it. You know, there are thousands of people doing it, burning their sneakers and throwing them out. You know, but the new method of condemning those who voted for Trump is to demonize their personal shopping habits, and that's what's going on here. New Balance is a privately held company. It's got 1,400 employees in New England, and it's the last American sneaker company, as Arabella pointed out. Now, those who are demonizing Trump are telling all of us that we should be ashamed to be wearing New Balance sneakers, right, because, you know, the more we're ashamed of things, the more respectable we are.
And Craig, you just mentioned, as did Arabella, that they are made in America. If anything, this sort of episode might actually draw attention to that and might actually make them more popular with some people.
Well, I spoke with some people connected with the company today, and this is the early indications are this is only boosting sales. Now, let's remember something here, Matthew. New Balance has been a staunch opponent of TTIP. Now, that trade deal rewards Nike and others who make sneakers overseas for cheap labor. Now, if liberals or anyone like to have their sneakers made by 12-year-olds in China and Vietnam, please go right ahead. But that's what's going on here. New Balance has always as a company, has always treated its employees fairly. And I don't think we can say the same thing about what goes on in the factories in China.
And this remark is actually, you know, Bernie Sanders would have done the same thing. He opposed these big international trade deals as well.
Well, precisely, Matthew, and this is the big disconnect. I mean, Clinton supporters and Trump deniers have now elevated, I should say actually sanctioned Nike as the politically correct sneaker. And this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if you've ever wondered how France's reign of terror happened, you know, this might be a good illustration. It's, you know, it used to be off with their heads, and now it's off with their feet. And what you have here are, unfortunately, a lot of people in the left wing in the United States. Many of these who are burning their sneakers, these are the same people who knife each other in the back to get their kids into $30,000 a year all-white kindergarten. But, you know, it's okay if you do that, just so long as you're no longer wearing New Balance sneakers, because a whole bunch of white supremacists, real goofballs, real lunatic fringe said, oh, this is the white person's sneaker. It's nonsense.
Yeah,
when the going
Craig,
gets weird, the weird turn pro.
Craig, thank you for that. I mean, you can't really choose your supporters, can you? All right, Craig Copetas in Paris, thank you.